American Tower is a giant in the cell phone tower business and owns and operates a global portfolio of communication sites. This includes about 225,000 wireless and broadcast towers and a collection of data centers around the world. Thousands of customers, including all the major mobile carriers, lease space from this real estate investment trust. Although interest rates may take a bite out of revenue and earnings, the increasing demand for 5G technology should keep the coffers full and growing. With a payment record that includes 12 straight years of dividend increases, the stock currently yields about 2.97%. And we're now looking at a 20-year monthly chart on American Tower Corp. And in the upper left, you can see that the symbol is AMT. The close on Tuesday was 210.38. And for disclosure purposes, I do not own any shares of AMT at this time. Now, it has a decent chart, with the exception there in 2008, but we continued on up here. We crested just over $300 a share in late 2021, and then we came on down. But what I see here is the process of bottoming and basing, so hopefully the trend will reverse once again to the upside. Looking at the volume here, you can see that volume has remained stable over the last several years, and that's not bad given the downtrend that we've seen in the price. Now, the price came down in late 2021, but you can see in the MAC that this was the top in, say, 2020. And for that volume to remain stable through the last several years while the MAC came on down to this level here is pretty good. So we still have a wide separation between the fast line there in black and the slow line here in red, and we're definitely under that zero line. So there's more volatility in the future, but I think things are closing relatively fast. You're speaking relatively fast with regard to the monthly chart, and that could mean a few more months on the upside before the MAC does start to close that separation. But you can see bottoming basing here in the histogram. We have a ways to go before we get to that zero line, so you do have time. Price rate of change is showing some improvement, bottoming and basing, with the fast line moving on up. Still pretty negative. We do have to come a ways to that zero line, but I think things are improving, and I think they'll improve relatively quickly here. Relative strength index is at a moderate 42.14, but once again, this is bottoming and basing, and it's going to strike up there to that 50 or midline pretty soon. Improvement is shown in the stochastics with sawtoothing happening here, but I think the fact that we're still not into that oversold territory means there's, relatively speaking, some strength. I think it's going to bottom and base here above that oversold territory and continue on up. And here into the Williams. The Williams did get into that oversold territory there in late 2022, but from there it's been improving. So I say once again, bottoming and basing, it wants to head on up at least. That's my opinion. Moving on up to the price chart, one last look. And as usual, no guarantees. You need to study the fundamentals, conduct your due diligence. ChewDog out.